I also made the case for owning Bitcoin, the quintessence of scarcity premium. It's literally the only large tradable asset in the world that has a known fixed maximum supply. By its design, the total quantity of Bitcoins cannot exceed 21 million.
Bitcoin is the hardest money that has ever been invented.
If you don't have my private key, you cannot spend my Bitcoin, period. And this is the power of Bitcoin.
It's the first time we figured out how to create true property that you can take possession of with full custodial rights.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Talking in Bits, where we walk you through Bitcoin bit by bit so we can provide you with the information you need to succeed and persist. Back when episode 51 got Ben in the house.
51, bro.
51 part 2.
Part 2.
I don't think people get
Snowstorm.
that. How good we are at this game, man. Like, we're professional podcasters. I don't think people get that. So I get up this morning to edit.
Yeah.
I usually shoot Ben the audio edit in the morning, on the weekend, Saturday morning. I go to my laptop. Audio doesn't exist.
Where'd it go?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I didn't do anything.
For the record, it's happened to me before.
Yeah,
It happens.
Actually, recently, last week with my buddy, this was a different thing. His whole, I think, like, Mac Mini shut down, like, so he lost everything. Not just the files for that. But, yeah, I couldn't tell you what happened. We got a flow. We've done this 51 times. But the file wasn't there. And, yeah, here in New England right now, we're having, what was it, like a foot and a half?
I think it's more. I think up to 24.
Okay, so they were close to their predictions this time.
Yeah.
Because I was actually talking to a buddy of mine, and I found it interesting that, like, we all know, like, the news is lying, but he had this, like, really compelling argument for, like, even the weather has gotten there. Like, where it's like, you know, when you use terms like extreme blizzards and, like, things like that, and, like, people panic. Right, so it's like even
like the weathermen that are out on the streets and they're pretending like the wind's really blowing them, and then you see regular people walking by in the background. Like, come on.
Maybe I'm naive. Maybe this has been the game. Maybe it's been happening for a while.
You gotta sell it.
To me, it's just like I never thought about that. Like, usually the weather comes by my phone, and I'm just like, oh, okay, we're gonna have a blizzard. But, like, it was a compelling argument for, like, yeah, fam, they're not even legit. I was like, can't trust anything nowadays. But so we get 24 inches or so. Ben still comes through, so we can give you guys this episode. I wasn't expecting it. Thanks for coming through.
Bro, I got to see you like 3 times this week.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good flow. I like that. But maybe that, I don't know, we could save that episode because it's still recorded, right?
I'm formatted the cards.
Okay. No, you don't have it on your computer?
Nah, I wiped it. My bad.
I was gonna say that could be like like one of those
bonus.
Like, rare Charizard things. Like, yo, you get the I don't know what was in, remember when it was like when you can get, I'm sure this is still a thing, like when you could get like mint coins that were like errors?
I remember those.
Why is that valuable? Was it because it's an error and it's rare?
I don't know.
Yeah, dudes were getting like the quarters that were like half minted or whatever. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I was thinking that episode could be something like that because we did talk some good stuff on that episode, which is technically this episode. But yeah, man. So the GOAT, you brought that up. This is not Bitcoin related, but we did talk football in the last previously recorded episode. Tom Brady retired today, man. What do you think?
Yeah, bro. I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, he retired. Like, I don't even want to like.
He said it like it was like one of his like favorite dogs. Like,
no,
yeah,
like I don't want to take that in, bro. Like, because it just means you're getting old. You know what I mean? Like, someone posted they were like Brady today, Melo next, and I'm just like, ugh.
I never thought about Melo. I know that basketball's your back, but to me it's like, yeah, I was watching Tom Brady in like middle school, dude. So it's like, yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, I kind of like it because it frees up. You know, the young guys are running the game right now. Yeah. If you see who's alive in the playoffs right now, it's the young dudes. And although Brady went out like a champ, I think so because they caught up in that game and they lost. Defense's fault. Jesus, you can't let Cooper Kupp get over the top. You can't let Cooper Kupp get over the top.
Facts. But would it be worse to watch Brady go out like Jordan?
Jordan went out with a ring, right? No, he went out with the Wizards. Yeah. I just thought about that. Oh, man.
See, you know what I'm saying? Like,
although he had the dope kicks with the Wizards.
With the 23s or the 22s?
You're good with the numbers on that. And they came in like a briefcase, right? Wasn't it those?
Yeah, one of my boys had them.
Yeah.
I didn't like them. I still don't like them.
Michael Vick was running them in the NFL, the veterans, remember?
I remember that.
I think Darius Miles had them in the, anyways.
Yeah.
Different tangent.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so you think he did not go out like Jordan then? Because he actually was competitive when he left.
He was as good this year as last year, and he won a ring last year.
I don't think he's done.
If you don't think he's done? No. I mean, hey, for branding purposes, you get the whole world talking about you.
He's gonna do crypto now. That's gonna be his new venture. It's not a new venture. They've been doing it.
I mean, he did the Subway commercial. Like,
so does Gronkowski go?
Yeah.
And I can hear the Bitcoiners just cringing right now. No, that's not true. Bitcoiners are football fans.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Gronkowski probably goes. Does that team fall apart? I don't know. They have a really good defense. Don't let Cooper Kupp go over the top. But they have a good defense. I don't know. This was a surprise to me. I know immediately after that game, people were already asking. I figured he'd come back.
Me too.
Because he played well.
Yeah.
He has a chip on his shoulder.
He obviously still got it.
I'm going to tell you what, though.
Yeah.
And this kind of happened to Peyton Manning, though. He took a beating in that game. Dude, those dudes take beatings. And he may try to seem like he's Superman, but when your ass is on the floor one too many times.
I was just talking about my ski trip where I got kind of banged up. And
you've been skiing? I didn't know that.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Off camera. But, yeah, no, like, you take a hard fall, like on a patch of ice at a younger age, or you get 5 hits in a game and you're Brady and you're 44. Like, what does that feel like?
Yeah, it feels like death. Yeah.
He got his lip busted. He was pissed.
This is like grown big men, like following you all over the field, smashing you. Like, some of these dudes are like behemoths.
Bro, 6'6".
250 muscle.
270.
Just straight muscle.
Quick.
Chasing you.
Quick.
Yeah, I listen, I was just sitting down for this podcast and my knees were popping and I was just saying how old I felt. And this dude was getting chased around. Yeah, man. It's impressive. It's the end of an era. So I'm excited that we get to see the young guys kind of put it up.
Sure.
So now it's Mahomes' league, if you think about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young guys, but it's Mahomes' league right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You know, Brady, as a New England fan, he did great things, great memories, incredible games, incredible comebacks. Even as a Tampa Bay Buck, he was fun to watch. But all things come to an end. I don't think it's over for Brady. I think he'll do the Fates of Black Jay-Z thing.
When I came back in the 4 or 5,
something like that,
to play games with y'all.
I wouldn't even doubt if Brady was trying to like jump out of a deal. Like,
possibly. I mean, it could just be like Gronk retired.
Yeah.
And he came back out with a sweeter deal. So like this just puts the pressure on them. We're like, you want him to come out of retirement, you better back up the Brinks truck, add in a real nice bonus.
Yeah.
And like there has to be a lot to it.
Speculation.
So, yeah, speculation.
Well, I'm going to ask you to speculate right now. Do you think the Antonio Brown thing had anything to do with that?
I mean, when you're missing one of your key guys, that's a problem.
I mean, Brady considers him a friend, right? Yeah. Like let him sleep at his house. We all know the stories that have been around. Like brought him to Tampa Bay, got him another deal. Like how often does somebody that doesn't have to get you a deal goes out and gets you a deal? He's got him a deal. He got him a deal in New England. He got him 2 deals.
Like, yo, you think about the times like, I don't know, you put your neck on the block for your coworker or something? Like
2 times.
Twice.
So now do you think
millions of dollars on the line?
Speculation, of course. I don't think neither one of us know this. Do you think Tom Brady started seeing the team like fall apart and being like, yeah, fam, like look how you treating the players. Look what you did to my guy. Look what you can do to me. You know, I got banged up this last game. Like, I'm out. Because it didn't seem like he was going to retire.
Yeah.
But the end of the season for Tampa Bay was a little rough, regardless if they made it.
There's chemistry, man. Like,
yeah.
So like that plays into it.
Yeah, I think he was pissed at that. I think he didn't like the way Antonio Brown was probably treated for something as petty as an incentive.
Yeah.
Because like these football players get it. We talked about that in the Lost episode. Like these football players definitely, like, hey, if you need to get the ball. I think he did it a week later for Gronk. Like, hey, let's get Gronk back on the field. Then he gave him like a bubble pass that got him over his incentive. I'm sure Tom Brady, I don't know Tom Brady, but I'm going to go on a limb. The guy that got the deal 2 times cares enough about him to say, hey, coach, let's run that Antonio Brown play that gives him the whatever the hell he needs for the incentive. I think Brady bounced because it was just like, I got it. Like, like I was trying to help you build something here, and you just showed that it's you building something here, coach or leadership or. But anyways, Bitcoiners, back to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on in Bitcoin, even since we had that episode that we had to lose. On the list here, let's go over it really quick. Sats versus bits.
Yep. Keep it sats.
Keep it sats. We did talk about it briefly in that last episode. I don't want to keep saying that, but we did lose it briefly. But yeah, if you're going to use bits we talked about it, maybe make the penny, right? And keep sats as the higher quantity, like the quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. But like if we're having the conversation of replacing it, which I think is the conversation.
That's what I think it was.
We're not going to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't think we can go back on sats. Like all the apps would have to go backwards. All the language would have to go backwards. Like everybody's used to sats. we talked about it early on in this podcast. Stacking sats became cool. Like, that's a cool thing to do. Stacking sats. Stacking bits? Come on, fam. And the podcast is talking in bits. And I'm telling you, sats. You agree with that?
Facts.
All right, we'll skip over that one. We had game theory going on in the world right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Russia, other countries.
Yeah, we talking about, how they turned the COVID switch off and they turned the war button on, and how, they're talking about evacuate Ukraine. And that something crazy could happen. So it's like there's tension there. Markets, stock markets, all markets kind of sell off when that stuff happens. It's just uncertainty. And so we saw Bitcoin dip down to what? I don't know. I don't even look at the price anymore. You know what I mean? I didn't look at the bottom. I don't think it went under 30, and it's back around like 38 right now. Yeah, I like the blood on the streets analogy when this sats to the cheap. I never, an older person told me that, and I kind of I think I'm in denial about that, but it's true, which is that world news affects Bitcoin price. Mm-hmm. I'm still in denial about that. Yeah. I'm with the I mean, listen, when the pandemic hit, it was like 10K down to 3.
Right, but it's short. So that's once again, the arguments are strong against what I'm going against, but I'm one of the small crowd that kind of just feels like Bitcoin just does what Bitcoin needs to do. Like, it's just continuing. It's not doing this because it's not manipulated. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where
it's so like when the housing market crashed.
Yeah,
like that affected the world for a long time. But like that's not going to happen with Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. Like that's my argument. That like when somebody says, "Oh, like you said, like now the war's about to start, so the price took a hit." Like that's correlation to what's happening in the world, and I'm one of those weird, I guess, like maxi individuals that's like, there's no correlation. Bitcoin just does what Bitcoin does.
Yeah, it corrects itself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's more of a free market feature than it is like what's going on in the world.
The manipulation of the money printing, and then people do buybacks with their shares, like Tesla and Elon Musk. You know what I mean? Like it's all fake manipulation,
right?
Or fake manipulation affects the price.
I mean, there's plenty of evidence that would say that it affects the price. I agree that what's happening in the world seems to have taken a hit. I even saw in my Cash App, which I kind of hope that I could shut this off. Maybe I should be able to shut this off or be able to choose what feed I want. But there was like a lot of like, let's say financial like articles or whatever, like is it CoinGraph? I think it's CoinGraph. So it's just like, they start saying these things that I'm just like, I don't think that matters to Bitcoin. But it started popping up in my feed exclusively. And it was things like that. It was like, pay attention to what's going to happen Wednesday when the U.S. Senate talks. And I'm just like, maybe I'm just dumb in that nature. Maybe I'm just, once again, too maxi to understand that does play into the price. But who cares?
Yeah.
Am I wrong? There's a strong argument both ways, I guess. Nobody's wrong here.
Yeah, no. Like when I see that stuff, it's just corporate adoption. You know what I mean? Like right now, they're talking about Arizona making Bitcoin legal tender.
Huge. Before Texas, before Wyoming.
If that happens, can you go to Arizona? Get an apartment. Sign up as a local and
pay in Bitcoin and transact
and avoid capital gains tax because now it's currency. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know
what happens then.
I think we have to see.
Yeah.
There's the beta test going on, right? Like El Salvador is one type of beta test, but what happens when a state
does it?
New That's Hampshire. A brand new
That'd be fire.
Beta test. New Hampshire, you said? I mean, it's small enough to try, right? Like,
they do what they want up there.
Exactly. Small enough to try and ballsy enough to say who gives a fuck. That shout out to them for that. I don't know. I need to know more about the Arizona thing. I'm hyped about it, but like I'm naturally hesitant to things that just like drop out the sky. Like this. Okay, like I didn't even know Bitcoin was popping in Arizona like that. Like to just go, like you would have thought Wyoming, you would have thought Texas, you would have thought Florida, you would have thought like, and it's just so like, I think it's just the skeptic in me is just like, what is this? Is this like a grab for something? Is this a reason why you like pull the trigger on this? Or do y'all really understand what this can do for a state, the world, individuals, property rights? I don't know. This is legit, you think?
Oh, I think it's a real bill.
Sure, but like the motive behind it.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I mean maybe they know enough to know that they should be doing it, and they're going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because there's so much to it.
Maybe it's an incentive for everybody, for them because people start coming, but for them giving some back to the individual and allowing Bitcoin to be once again capital gains, right? Like a tool now to incentivize somebody to change their life if you think about it. So very interesting. I know Texas, the guy who's running for governor, I don't know his name specifically, but I know he's already dropped he wants to do the Bitcoin thing. That doesn't seem far off in Texas, obviously, for what's happening in Austin, Dallas, Houston, that whole little triangle there. I think that's in it. But damn, like, I haven't even heard Arizona do, like, I'm not saying they don't have any meetups, but, like, have you, like...
I haven't seen no Bitcoin Arizona, nothing.
Yeah, like, I know there's a few, like, I'm sure there's an Arizona Hotto somewhere. Like, there's a bunch of, like, so I'm sure there's Arizona's popping, but, like, yeah, like, how did it happen so fast there? That's cool, but strange.
Yeah.
I don't know. But then again, it happened fast in El Salvador, right? Like, it just came out of nowhere. That's strange.
How soon before the Cash App integration, Lightning invoice, will we see that with is it Square?
Block
with their like local merchant service?
So by the end of the year.
Yeah.
By the end of the year. I'm gonna say by the end of the year.
We called that.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Listen, if we had a list for the things we called, oh boy.
It's happening quick, man.
Oh boy. Listen, share this podcast with your favorite person because we have been ahead of so many things. And sometimes we just like ramble until we land there. Like we just find it but we find it and we have it recorded. Go back, check the episodes. Trust me, it's on record. But yeah, I think by the end of the year, because they already have the LDK kit out.
Yeah.
They already have the infrastructure out. They already, this sounds bad, but they're buying celebrities, right? So they already have like a new every week you can.
Influencer.
You know, right. Let's talk about influencers. Let's hold that one for a second. I just want to know, why is that funny? I just want to know something now that you say that. But yeah, they have business owners because they've had them since the Reader days.
They have the ecosystem, man.
Yeah, my sister uses it for small business, and I've never used it. But like, even I guess their dashboard has come a long way. Like now they're more like a
AI company.
Not an AI company, but like a Shopify, where it's like you can do the mailing there, you can do the invoicing there, right? Like an all-in-one for businesses. And the wall to get it is very either cheap or free. Honestly, I think the majority of the features. So I think they're in. So what do? You just flip the switch.
Yeah.
You just, like, if you're working on it in the background. Obviously, you don't flip the switch on millions of users without testing it. But if you have it ready, you just flip the switch, and then one morning, they hit you with a prompt that says, hey, check out this Lightning invoice, right? You start doing it with your friends, and then all of a sudden, your friend says, well, you know what? I make this. Why don't you just send me this invoice really quick? And people start adapting that real quick. Just like people started taking credit cards on the street real quick with the Reader. That was pretty difficult before that Reader.
How did they do it? They had to have a big unit,
and it needs to be connected like Ethernet to like the local spot or like something. Like there was no like Wi-Fi. These dudes just said, "Oh yeah, that headphone jack you got there. Let's take
plug
that."
Right in.
And now you could just swipe it, and it's just a magnetic strip reader. Man, so I don't know how they're gonna do it. They really just need to flip the QR codes on.
Yeah.
I don't know what type of device they'll have for business owners. Like, is it gonna be like? See, but they don't need it because. They already have like screens and stuff that you can buy. Sort of like what's the other company?
They all usually have screens.
Yeah, so like now all you just need to do is just show QR codes. So like if you can pull off hardware to the masses, you could absolutely just flip a switch and make Lightning available for all business owners overnight. I'm waiting for my Cash App to get it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it on mine.
This is not even an ad.
And I updated the app. But yeah, this isn't an ad.
This is not an ad. I still think by far my Cash App is the best Bitcoin app I've had since I've came back to Bitcoin.
In terms of
everything, functionality, introduction, easeability, adoption, everything. UI. It is such a really good onboarding Bitcoin app for everybody. And as a business owner, it is very easy for them to explain to you how you just have somebody scan this QR code and get that done. They have the history of being able to educate people how to transact. And now they have a bullish leader with a bullish team that knows that this is going to do, if they can get it out there fast, this is going to change the game.
Did you see the Jack video I sent you?
I always miss it.
You missed it, bro?
I know the laughing Apple dude, though, by the way. So, like, that's probably why I don't see those videos.
You got to see it, bro. Because the whole thing is like...
This is why we got to get the plug-in.
Yeah. We're going to insert that right here. Right? Boom. Okay.
I got to remember that. Let's make a note.
I'm gonna play that for the video right there.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Y me llama el cocinero. Risita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador. En las chanclas. Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme las chanclas y el bañador. Voy a la playa, había subido la marea. Tú, había subido la mano y encontré una paella. Y la encontré porque estaba la paellera agarrada metida entre las piedras de Chipiona, del faro. Y cuando entro en el restaurante me ve el cocinero con una paellera y adentro la 20 paellera. ¡Asómate, mira dónde llega el agua! Llegaba el agua hasta el restaurante. Había subido la marea. Jesús, hay que hacer ahora con los 2 sacos de arroz. ¡Ay, llama para Sevilla! ¡Llama a Sevilla que traigo paella! Tú y yo con el bañador y con la paella. El cocinero. No vea, para Sevilla. Y al último, que cuando ya salió la bien de regla, estamos llorando los dos. Me cobró el tío la paella. Me cobró a 500 metros la paella. Y ya no fui más. Me fui andando a coger los amarillos hasta hoy. Me mandó por la noche, había bajado más el agua y por la mañana había subido.
We're gonna come back but no, the dude is like, imagine being a Twitter investor and your CEO never makes the stock price go up, and the whole time he's bullish on Bitcoin, and then he leaves for Bitcoin, and then he's dissing, what was it, Web3, and then some other company, but like
everything. He's just being vocal. Let's put it that way.
And he's building Bitcoin systems.
Talked about Tidal. We talked about all that stuff.
Yeah, what are their miners going to cost?
Yeah, it's game changing, man. So like, I don't even see it difficult. The original question was, when do business owners get Lightning in their hands? And look at that. Like, if they're working on miners and shit, it's not going to be extremely hard to get that. So adoption. We speak about it often here. If there ever is going to be 21 million, adoption is how you should merit value. Stop looking at the US dollar price of the Bitcoin. It is about adoption. It is about being able to own a piece that eventually people will be thirsty for, because it's going to get to that point. This is pretty cool. I think already Cash App, this is not an ad, and what they're about to do is just going to onboard so many more people and make companies like Strike better. No, but y'all probably thinking I hate Strike. I know. I know. I don't. I still use Strike to do a lot of my immediate purchase to my Cash App wallet.
Yeah, let's just say one reason for Strike, I just posted recently, but they did the 20% off Bit Refill.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, I think Cash App can do that too. And I think
they should.
And I think they could eat their cookies.
Yeah, they got bigger pockets.
Yeah,
they're a bigger company.
And better friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still use Strike to do that. To use the Moon, pay bills, all that stuff. But I also, I use Strike to do that immediate, because if you send to a Bitcoin address, you just pay the mining fees. So like, I've made like $1,000 purchases and have paid 15 cents, 10 cents to send to a Cash App address. So I don't care if it's stable coins or shit coins in the background, whatever the hell they're doing, because ultimately the majority of the time I've had a good experience with Strike in that fashion. But we highlighted the beef of waiting 3 days for a transaction to come in and to settle.
Yeah, if you have an app that has anything to do with Bitcoin, like, it should be
instant. Cash App.
Cash App is instant.
Cash App, man. I'm telling you.
You shouldn't have to wait days.
What I was able to do with Cash App over the holidays and a few times since there has just been incredible. It's just been literally like, look, I don't want to send dollars. I want to send this, because that's the statement. If I send dollars, people are not going to buy Bitcoin. They may, but they're probably not.
I'm buying dinner, fam.
I'm buying whatever the hell I need. Thanks for the gift. But like, here's a different type of gift that I can give you. And they made it easy. They It was a flip of a switch. One morning, it was just like, hey.
By the way, you can send by username.
Here's a little video. They're really nice with the little interactive thing.
Have you seen
so like we Cash App.
No, bro. They're building dope stuff. I was on the app recently.
Love it.
And I think I went into like their definition of Bitcoin or whatever, or there's like a Bitcoin info button.
Yep.
I click that. They have like fantastic artwork, and it just kind of explains it through like 10 slides. But still leaves you like kind of curious to learn more.
Yeah.
But it's cool, man.
Even when they were explaining the LDK kit and they made that video with like the developers, they were kind of simplifying very complex things and just saying, hey, this is. So back to what I was saying earlier, they have a history of this, of being able to like teach complex things. Nobody's even talking about the stuff that they're doing in Africa, right? We're together with Jay-Z in that partnership and how they're supporting developers out there. Oh, by the way, I don't know where I heard this. Africa is the #1 adoption place for Bitcoin right now. It's probably the biggest. People talk about meccas of Bitcoin, but are not talking about enough of what's happening in Africa as in that country itself. So, like, Jack just has his hands everywhere, but they're all the right places to have his hands at. It's one of those weird things where hopefully he's a good juggler and doesn't screw all this up. But I can't wait to see, like, I've always been an update junkie with all my devices. I always like to have my devices up to date. I was talking to somebody about this the other day. There's two sides of that argument. There's, well, this guy's a sucker because he's going to fall for whatever they put into his software. Fair. But then I'm the guy that's like, well, they found out this nice malicious bug that they're about to patch, and I would rather get that ASAP. So there's two arguments there, whatever. But, like, what my point is that, like, when I get a Cash App update, especially with this Lightning pending, I'm like, whoop, let me go check this out real quick. It's exciting again. It's like, I don't really feel that way for any other app, especially in the Bitcoin space. So they have to be doing very many things very well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't talk about this, but, I don't want to take nothing away from the PayPal and the other big people in the space. But if you want to talk about what Cash App did in the culture, Cash App changed fiat because people didn't really rock with bank accounts anymore. When Cash App came into the game, whether it was for bad, like, intensive purposes, OnlyFans, things like that, or whether it was like, yo, I'm paying my buddy back for, dinner, half or whatever, they made that very easy for you to get the funds in. And sometimes it was like smoke and mirrors move, where it was like, it happens instantly for you, but it pens in the background and we do all the work. Mm-hmm. They were kind of like the first company that wasn't playing really like that. So now they're in the Bitcoin space, and this is super like dick riding Cash App, right? But it's just, every time somebody asks me, how do I buy Bitcoin? I still have to say, go get Cash App. I don't like the KYC, of course. Yeah. I don't use it as a bank account. I really only use it for the Bitcoin tab. I don't use the stocks tab. And then to send my friends, money every now and then and things like that. But it's just, when I want to do something in Cash App, boom, 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 it gets done. I'm out. I don't have to spend a lot of time inside the Cash App to do what I want to do. And other apps, bad UI, bad whatever, purposely unintentional, they make you go through like a snake hole to try to, like the way I use Strike, I bet you if the majority of the person would look over my shoulder and see how you Strike, they're going to be like, wow, I didn't even know that app can do that. And I'm just like, oh, because I'm a tinkerer. I try things, I do different things. That's on Strike. And this is not to compare the two, you're right. One's massive, the other one's kind of starting up. But like, you need to get better at those things if you want people to use Pay with Moon. If you want people, like, not many people know that that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I could tell somebody right now that, let's say 95, which is a really high number, 95% of my lifestyle is 5% off at the minimum. Sometimes 20, sometimes 25, right?
20% off Target cards.
I could somehow make easily 5% off of anything I want to buy. That's cool. That's you getting 5% back of your whole year's worth by knowing something. Bro. But when's the last time you saw, besides the Twitter announcements, when's the last time you seen Strike kind of like advertise themselves as that place to be? How come I'm not seeing like that pop up on the app? Maybe it's a partnership thing.
Should be a...
I was just thinking about it. That's probably a partnership. But like on the Cash App, like if you go to the Boost section, like there's different companies there. So how come Strike is not doing a better job to incentivize me to use the 5% off?
Mm-hmm. Should be like a notification alert.
It's
just like, hey, 5% off today.
And I say that it's probably a partnership thing, but you guys are already partners if you're giving me 5% off. I would like to think, just giving me 5% off for no damn reason.
Right.
So it's like, look, why don't you 20% off pop up in the app? Why is it popping up on Twitter? What if I don't follow you on Twitter?
Yeah.
I've missed a few of those. You missed a few of those.
Yeah. So I turned notifications on, but that got annoying on their Twitter feed. But even if they did like a flash alert, like instead of doing 20% off for like 3 hours, do 20% off like once a week for an hour. Direct alert on the app.
You should allow me to initiate that from the app. Yeah. You should allow it to be I don't want to copycat that. I know that sounds easy to do.
Yeah.
But you should allow me to see 20% off Pay with Moon and be able to tap that. And then the next scan that I do that actually showed, like it should just be one flow that just lets me know this is activated. I'm getting 20% off when I scan. There's Pay with, right? Like,
yep.
Come on, man. And that's not to mention like just educational content. Like, all right, so put some videos out of somebody scanning with Moon. Like you could just do like a screen share, not like a person. You don't have to do high production 4K stuff.
Yeah.
You could just do a screen share that's like, hey, you want to get 5% off?
This is how you do it.
This is how you do it.
Yeah. The last one they did, they had the main post on Twitter, and then under that they had here's a video walkthrough.
Great.
So like I tagged a friend on that. And
that's
like,
fantastic. Yeah, and I mean the plebs do that stuff anyways. We do that stuff, right? Like most people put the content out for these companies because we care about it. But I promise you, if somebody were to look over my shoulder when I, like in the various ways that I do Strike, they wouldn't believe it. They'd be like, yeah, but I can't do that with Strike. You can. You just have to know certain things to be able to do certain things. And once again, the reason I could spend $1,000 on sats and only pay 15 cents is because I use the app in a certain way that's not advertised. I don't even know if it's not supposed to be used that way, but I use it that way. And why wouldn't? You guys are telling me that I can send to any Bitcoin address in the world. But you didn't tell me it was limited to certain addresses. It's any Bitcoin, it's fair, it is. So my logic is, okay, well, to send Bitcoin, what do I need to pay you? Strike says nothing, right? That's their whole gist. So to me, it's like, okay, you just pay the miner fees. Well, okay, mempool, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go and scope the mempool.
12 cents.
The mempool gets down to 3 sat per byte.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do? I'm going to use my Strike account to now send dollars to a Bitcoin address. And I receive them as Bitcoin. In a perfect world, I'm sure Strike wants the person on the other end to spend the Bitcoin. I do not. Right. I just purchased that way.
Yeah. Yeah, case in point. So they did the 20% off deal, right? And I was like, ooh, do they have Expedia? No, they don't have Expedia for travel. But they did have like JetBlue Direct.
Who? Strike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit Refill.
Okay.
So they did the 20% off with Bit Refill. Yep. You go and buy the gift card. If I would have booked flights, I would have had Bitcoin back on that. And then using Lolly, like you can still get points as well.
I still don't like Lolly.
No? Yeah,
It's cool that it's in the background, and I know low time preference. I got it, but like, fam, give me my Bitcoin.
What if they just did like their own Lightning channel?
Give me my Bitcoin.
No. So like
end of the month. You don't gotta do it every time. Just like, do what Fold does. Do like a quantity. Like, hey, once you build up 50,000, Jose, it's yours. Yeah, gotcha. Like, why am I waiting? Like, I've been waiting for stuff since August, G.
Wouldn't it be in their best interest to create a Lightning channel, and whenever the rewards go,
Fold? No.
It goes straight through. The issue with them is that they want to make sure you don't cancel. That's the problem.
No. I'm super cool. And Bitcoin transactions are final. That's fine. Yeah. I get that. But like, they're talking about quarterly.
That's weird.
Yeah, like I have 30 days to return. Most of the time, I have 15 days to return.
Yeah.
I can't return it.
Yeah.
I can't return it. So, okay, you need 30 days. How about I get it on the 35th day? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
should be like 31st. That's weird.
Or like I said, I won't worry so much about when it clears if I know that I just have to meet a threshold. Damn, man, this whole episode, we just been giving companies like free. Like, fam, like, I think sometimes when you develop an app, you're so biasly use it that you don't use it like other people use it. So like, and that's just user testing. I got it. But like, yeah, I do add Lolly whenever I need to. It's easy. You just click it, it does its magic. So like, I get it. Low time preference. You don't need that Bitcoin right now. You can see it. They're one of the best fountains and faucets. I'm sorry, I said fountain. They're one of the best faucets in Bitcoin still. Fold and Lolly would just give you 50 sats. So sometimes they give you 100,000 sats. So like, that's cool and all that. But you're holding my Bitcoin hostage. And I don't think that's a cool thing to do for any Bitcoin company. You're right. You need to know that I don't return it. But does it take you 90 days to know that? When's the last time you returned something after 90 days?
Never.
You can't. Yeah. They will take it back. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being too picky. I still tag it. It's there. It's part of my extension. Why the hell not? But like, man, like I'm like, if I could just do 5% off a Moon, I'm not running to like get one of the Lolly incentives.
Yeah.
It would have to just match up.
Yeah, it's gonna come out the same, if not better with the other route.
Put it this way. This is an easy real life example. I could get 1 to 2% in bodybuilding.com. You know, I often buy supplements. I still just buy it on Amazon.
Yeah.
I still just have it just sent to my house faster with no, you know, all the. I hate Amazon Prime, to be honest. I don't hate them. I think it's a useful service, but I have a thing for the companies that trickily found a way to get into every household in America. Like this whole like Netflix, like this whole like you kind of have to have one just to kind of be normal. Motherfuckers, like that's what. So am I a typical American that loves my fast shipping in 2 days?
No,
sure.
Listen, they're solving a need where like if I want something tomorrow, they'll have it to me. But the downside is what becomes of them 10 years from now.
Since they've been up, yeah. Like so, I think Netflix same thing. I mean, fan like they just hold too much weight. Like I've heard people literally tell me like, nah, I have to have a Netflix subscription in my house. Like what? Like that's crazy. Yeah. Like YouTube is free. Not to say that they go to YouTube over Netflix or that you can find an Ozark on YouTube. Not saying that, but like you really need a service. And most of us just pay it without knowing, especially us parents. Man, our card is just being hit with just random things that are just there just because they watch them every now and then and you just want to have it. It's very weird. These companies are very sneaky motherfuckers, but Amazon's one of those companies. But yeah, back to the Lolly thing. Like I could get 1 to 2%. And 1 to 2% is not much, but I buy often. I buy supplements often. So like I could really be stacking up on Lolly. And I still, because the fact that they hold the hostage and the experience is so weird, I just go to Amazon. I 1, 2 clicks, send, they bring it to my crib. It's often cheaper, right? Honestly, because Amazon does this thing where like if nobody's buying it, you know, inventory management basically, they'll lower the price. They'll do all these AI things in the background. And the bodybuilding.com is pretty set. Like that's the price. Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's like, Lolly, I gotta like make it cool for me to use Lolly. I think so. And maybe I was never one of those fiat ones though. Wow, what is it, a Humblebee? I
haven't used it.
Like I was never one of those guys, anyways, because I know a buddy who was big on those, and using Lolly is like he likes it. He's like, oh no, like that. You just gotta kind of chill out, bro. They'll send it to you eventually. I got that, but like, is the experience that whack? Like for all the other services too? Because like I don't know, like it tells you that you can get 5% off or something like that, but it seems spammy. Right. And then, like I don't shop at the Bit Refill, pay with Moon. Like, it's just, I don't know, competition is tough. I want to like Lolly, but I think the Lolly of last year needs to innovate because I think these other companies like folded. I don't think that metaverse thing is really cool, but they did a few things that were like, hey, we're trying to like adapt and keep it. And Lolly's just betting on the like, hey, you're shopping anyways, just attach me. I don't know. I've never used that market. Maybe there's a crowd of people or a segment.
Oh, there is. They're doing well.
Yeah. They are doing very well. Yeah. And they got like Serena Williams and all that and backing them and stuff. Yeah, they're doing
I think a lot of their traffic is, I think I saw it was like women's makeup and like women's products.
Interesting.
So I think they have a big base.
Oh, so I'm definitely clued out. I'm definitely
what I mean?
not the
So
audience.
like,
yeah. And traveling. I know that I've used the Lolly for the traveling.
Expedia, bro.
Yeah. No, it definitely works.
Easy.
I used it for Booking.com and got 6%. So it's definitely good across the board. But like, damn, like the stars have to line up for me to want to use the service.
Yeah.
As for like Fold, it's kind of like incorporated into my life. Like Cash App incorporated into my life. Strike sort of incorporated into my life. So like, you know, if you want to keep up in this game, all right, maybe I'm not the woman that's looking for makeup on my face and like these like, and I don't shop online often like that unless it's Amazon. But like, you can do something innovative. Maybe add a Lightning. Maybe add a faster payout. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not about to keep giving companies ideas here on the rip. But like, in order to incentivize me to use these things, you got to keep innovating in that sense. But damn, we went off on tangent like we usually do. Game theory was the last thing we talked about.
Yeah, with that game theory, we were going to talk about how Intel is creating those low voltage chips.
We do have Intel in the ASIC game.
Yeah, and that's going to force AMD to do the same thing. And now they're giving us faster, better chips at a cheaper rate.
So why don't people buy Bitcoin if they know this stuff is happening? Like, what's happening here? Like,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, like why would these companies like Intel even bother with Bitcoin mining? Because it's not like they're saying, or maybe I missed it. They're saying ASIC mining, which is Bitcoin mining. I think ASIC could actually mine anything, something else. But
Particularly.
They're trying to get into the Bitcoin industry. And then we lost that episode, but we talked about like miners getting as small as Mac Minis, right? Or like sitting there with smaller chips like this. I think it's going to flood the average at-home miner. Like now you're going to have to go from like breaking even at, let's say, City 14 to like maybe having to get down to like a 4%, like a 4 cent per kilowatt to probably be profitable because the hash rate is going to keep jumping on. But I think you brought up this really good point that I want you to, lean into and explain a little more is the fact that you're right. They'll be cheaper. They'll be more efficient. So go ahead, talk about that.
Yeah, so right now, right, we got miners this year, and it's set for less than a 1 year ROI. That's great, but these big companies that are placing, I don't know how many miners they're ordering, but it's affecting everyone. So there's less Bitcoin paid out to all the miners. So if these dudes make a new ASIC that's twice as efficient, that means you can mine profitably at current rates. And it's going to force you're going to see new stuff from Bitmain, from WhatsMiner. Like they're going to have to go from an S19 at 110 terahash to like the S19 3.0 at 175 terahash, and it uses less electricity.
Yeah,
like it has to move in that direction.
And at the same time, the current machines of the day, you instead of paying 10 grand for them, you probably pay like 3 grand for them.
Yeah, and then those rates should come down. So
yeah, right.
I don't think it'll get too out of balance. I think it'll correct itself. But yeah, man, this is good news, man.
Yeah, it is good news. Adoption is there. It's another signal.
Yeah,
and the fact that
game theory, bro.
Yeah, it's another signal that this is happening, and it's happening really fast. But I worry about the pleb miner, and
I agree with you.
I worry about these things. Things that we can. Same thing as in development and everything. When the big companies come in, they kind of seem to like destroy the little guy. And this is for the little guy.
This could be the situation. We've talked about it before. You have Tesla panels on your roof. They recharge your house. You have a Tesla battery on your wall that, gives you excess charge. And then you have a Bitcoin miner that's like the size of a modem or a router, and it just plugs right in.
Yeah, but with that comes the bullshit too. You think they're just going to let you just do that?
I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
If they could put one in every house.
To secure the network, that's fantastic. But they're gonna want their back end on that. Like it's not gonna be like it is now. Like right now, it's plug and play. Right,
yeah, now with them, it'll probably be KYC and
you need to pay us, or we get taxes off of it.
They collect some kind of fee. It had to be like corporate-y. It wouldn't be pleb mining.
Yeah, I think I gotta grow. All right, like I still think the hoodie mode is on. I still think it's the maxi mode, and I understand that won't live forever, especially if we want this asset to mature, to be what it is intended to be, and be taken serious. But like, hey man, if I could hold the fucking fort down for like as many small time people like us to get knowledgeable in this, experienced in this, their feet wet in this, their wealth in this, damn, I'm gonna keep telling those rich billionaire dudes to keep fuck themselves, man, because this is built for a purpose, and it's to get the average, to level the playing field. Let's just say that. It's built for very different things, but it definitely to level the playing field. And as soon as they get in, you're right, man. Things are gonna change. Legislation will start being flying around. That's why I worried about the Arizona thing earlier. It's like, all right, like y'all figured out that it's trendy. I hate to use that word, but y'all figured out that there's a lot of people that value this thing, and we're gonna see some great shit. But we're going to see some fuckboy shit, too. We're going to see some weird people doing weird shit. A lot of charlatans, because when there's something new and there's something flashy and it promises what Bitcoin promises the average folk, there's going to be a lot of people bending those words. Which brings me back.
Influencers?
What's up with... I have most of them muted, but, like, I remember, like, last January, like, are the Pomps of the world still popping on Twitter? Or is it that I just have them blocked so well?
Oh, no, you just got them blocked well. They're still...
Fuck.
Yeah.
I thought they just went away. I was like, see?
It's funny you say that. I was talking to someone earlier, and they were at Bitcoin Miami last year, and they were talking about, like weird influencers just being, like, finicky.
Or what does that mean? Elaborate.
Just like, they felt like they were talked down to.
By the influencer. Multiple influencers. Like, shake your hand and you... kind of treat me like a groupie? Like, what do you mean?
I don't know exactly what it was, but they were just, it was just weird.
So, Oh yeah, well we know that though. You don't really want to meet your celebrities, I guess. They're usually a piece of shit people. Okay, so they're still around.
Yeah.
Jay Wills of the world still around.
Yeah.
I figured he would be longer than the other one, but Pomp I thought would have went away right now. I thought he would have used that girl as a cover up.
Pomp does this thing where he just reports news and he has a big account.
He has a big account. Yeah.
You know what I
Those
mean?
dudes are manipulated.
So like,
so I thought they went away, but I think that's good. That means that I have it numbed enough to where I really only see a lot of pleb stuff.
Yeah.
Which I love. I think it's fantastic.
I've worked my feed like that too.
Yeah. Okay.
I see stuff like that, and I'm into like Bitcoin mining.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, is it me or is it like these dudes just went away?
That still exists. Everybody ends up blocking stuff. They end up blocking terms. I still haven't.
Yeah, I block mad people.
Yeah.
Well, I don't block mad people, but like I intentionally be like, I'm good.
Or maybe I blocked a few. I don't know if I blocked.
I didn't even be on it like that much. I think I would do a good. I was watching. This is actually completely not related to anything, but kind of is. So Showtime has a 3-part Tekashi series, right? Like who is the guy and like how did he turn into that? What the hell happened? All that stuff. And the only thing I just kept thinking about is that, and they actually alluded to it, is like what the power of social media, right? Like this dude, like this phone, this account can get you billions of dollars if you work it well. That like, and I was just repeating like over in my head, like this is the dumbest shit ever. This is the dumbest part of society of all time. The fact that you can get, he was obviously, I don't know anybody who's familiar with Tekashi, and like anybody who see any of these shenanigans, it works. Like people love seeing that stuff and love gravitating to it. So I just bring that to say that like, yeah, social media is, I try to stay away from that because of that. And I thought the influencers went away, but I should have known better. Because they have massive accounts because of that. They have massive bank accounts because people just love, I don't know what people love. I think it's the weirdest time of like,
listen, there's always snake oil that's going to be sold. There's listen, like we just watched the LuLaRoe on Netflix or on Hulu or whatever, and it's just like it was the clothing thing.
Yeah.
And
I just
like like there's a part of it that's like sincere, maybe in one area, and then it just gets weird in other areas, and like there's always gonna be money that's exchanging, bro. And then later you find out, you know what I mean, or like the Fire Festival.
I don't like that.
You know what I mean? You got.
Yeah, no. I know that stuff's gonna happen. Yeah. It's just to me, like. That's different scope, like the social media thing though, like the fact that like that screen on my phone influences so much of my life and decision making. I think it is technology wise one of the coolest things humans have ever done. The fact that you've made a podium anywhere in the world, but like what it has done to society and humans, oh boy.
Now imagine.
Oh boy!
Now imagine that metaverse suit that you walk into.
Give me an example of a good
chamber
of quote unquote to you. It could be a good influencer.
Oh, I mean.
No, don't give me that.
Oh, we're talking Bitcoin. My bad.
No, I mean we can open it up. We can open it up. Give me a good influencer, because I don't think there's any good. If you're tied with the word influencer.
Yeah, no. Let me think about that.
I don't think there is one, and that's what I'm saying. Like, what is it? We know what an influencer is, but what is it about that automatically associates it with a charlatan? Why do charlatans get 2 billion followers? I think it's a weakness to humanity that people don't pay attention to. Why are you attracted to stupidity? I guess is because that's what's happening. People just, I don't know. And once technologically, the fact that we're connected, super cool, super amazing. But why people care so much about it? And why can't you make $1 billion off of social media? That's weird, man. I don't get it. Maybe it's just me. Because my argument wouldn't work, or my thought wouldn't work if it was like, no, but there's actually people using social media as good influencers. But then I started thinking about good influencers, and like, there's people doing good on the internet, but we're talking about influencers that are doing good. Name one. I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Can't name one.
Sure, we'll see a documentary about it.
About what?
Just like a documentary about like, there has to be a doc on influencers and like what this is. Like this is a new like quote unquote phenomenon.
I don't know. I try to think about it like, do we try to be them? Like what is it? What makes it attractive?
So
if you know this.
Non-Bitcoin, like this is going to change the way media works. Non-Bitcoin, right? There's this dude, Country Wayne. He's from the South, and he does these short like videos. You know what I'm saying?
What's his craft? Comedian, rapper?
Comedian.
Okay.
Like he's a stand-up comedian.
Gotcha.
So like he has one skit where he goes in a Ludacris's studio and like he's like acting like he's buying a beat off Ludacris, and it's just short, funny content. But like he's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he's touring everywhere all the time. And like, does he become his own like media company? And like Ludacris pays to get on just to create a short thing. You know what I mean? So like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
The influencer only exists because of social media.
Yeah.
Because of social media. And I'm just having a hard time with it. And I was watching it, and like before I started watching it, I was like, I'm not interested in who Tekashi 6ix9ine is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested how the individual Daniel Hernandez can turn into Tekashi 6ix9ine. And thankfully, they did a really good job talking about that.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. Like I was like, oh, they're just gonna talk about other. No, they actually like broke this person down into him being like. It was actually very interesting. I actually recommend it because they were talking about like, you know, Slick, like everybody having the persona. Slick Rick is the storyteller, right? Jay-Z is more like the presidency, right? Like those type of like they have these things. And then Tekashi was super villain. Like he just had it completely fucked up, and they talked about that. And then like eventually you do the Joker. Eventually the world just becomes your playground, and you actually like thrive and just being that outlandish. And it was very strange, but then it ended up like you get kidnapped, you get.
Yo, they were saying like Jim Jones was around, and like it wasn't
Dude,
a joke.
he got kidnapped and was. And I was watching it with my wife, and I told her I was like, and I don't wish this. I was like, somebody's gonna kill this kid. Like even after the jail thing, like homeboy was just like still like
wilding, and I'm like,
I was
bro,
like, fam,
you ain't learned yet.
See, but like I've also heard like people my age talk about it, and they're just like. These young kids just don't care about snitching like we used to care about snitching.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think to me, it's just like,
yeah,
like he's dead. But I think these young people just fuck with that. Like, I think they're just like, oh, he won the chess game. They're in jail. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
And where you and I grew up is like, he will probably get killed because they're in jail and he's not.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also walking around with like
security,
huge, massive. But then that's the thing. Even that braggadocious, since he pays them like. He had this like video clip, and I didn't know any of this stuff. I was just watching it in the doc. But he had this video clip where like he's in the playground being a little boy, and his bodyguard is like pushing him on the swing. Like he's really like it's trolling, but it's really like where you and I are from is like you would beat the fuck out of this dude. You would beat the living pulp out of this dude, but nobody touches him.
Yeah, I've seen like reports of altercations here and there, but like every time I see a headline about that dude or any other dude, like it's like, oh, dead man walking.
I recommend it because if you're interested, if you're a Tekashi fan, then
who did it? HBO?
Showtime.
It's probably cinematically it looks good. It's like
I mean, it's just a doc, so it kind of just shows like highlights and like video previously recorded stuff. But I think they did the really good job of like they diagnosed the supervillain, like they actually say like you know the trauma, right, and they highlight those things, and then they use like a doll, like literally like a Barbie doll, like it looks like Tekashi, to build the layers on top of him as they're telling the story. So it hit a home run for what I wanted it for, and it's because I wanted to know more about the dude.
Yeah.
And they did a good job. They started with the dude. They had like old girlfriends on, right? And they were talking about the dude and how he was half Mexican, half Puerto Rican. They brought his dad on, and his dad was like a heroin junkie, and he was talking. They did a really good job explaining who that dude is and how he ended up just being friendly with the street dudes. And that's his whole thing. But then they kind of like start spiraling into this like, they have some of the street dudes on talking about it. And it's like this manipulation game where it was like street dude would come up with idea. Tekashi would go do the idea for himself a week later without telling street dude. Mm-hmm. Tekashi makes $1 million, street dude does nothing. Like this trend started to kind of go around, and it's just an interesting story. And I mean, listen, I grew up with sticky fingers. So to me, it was like when everybody was like, yo, this dude got like this, like I was like, yeah, I never heard sticky fingers is what it is. Like sticky fingers would like bust you in your head as soon as you hear the drop, right? Like, and he had that gritty, like, Onyx, right? Like that. So I never got into it, but this documentary, man, it just goes back to like how social media can destroy, because they had do you know Adam 22 from the No Jumper podcast?
Sounds familiar. Yep.
One of the bigger podcasters in the space or whatever, a long time or whatever. Him. Yeah, he was on there, and he was just explaining how it was like, he like, you know, it's one of those things where like you light the fire and now the next one has to be a bigger one, right? And then you get addicted to it and you have to like, I don't think he used that analogy, but that's where he was getting. It was like, every time Tekashi had to like do it bigger, he couldn't go backwards. Like it was like you just kept going and it just kept leading into a fucking train wreck is what the fuck it kept leading to. But it worked. Yo, people love this fucking dude. I was just surprised. Like, yo, your tracks get like 2 billion views on YouTube. Like, I didn't even know numbers go that high is what I'm trying to say.
Have you watched the movie Free Guy?
No.
You gotta watch it.
Is it about social media?
It's about video games, not necessarily social media, but basically a character in the movie. He's not like everyone's playing online. It's like Grand Theft Auto or The Sims, right? Or more like Grand Theft Auto. So everyone has their own character, but he's in the movie or in the game. He's just like a normal person. He's not an actual person playing. But through AI, he comes to life and becomes an actual like person playing, and the developers can't stop him. And his whole thing is like he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And so he does good stuff. Tekashi doing the opposite.
Yeah.
But yeah, he becomes this phenomenon. All the YouTubers are talking about him. So as you're saying that, I'm thinking about that. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But
it only happens in that realm. Like Tekashi only exists with social media, with digital. Like it doesn't happen the O way, because the O way, like we like the rappers that are like self-identifying, right? Like that talk about the real shit, talk about what they go through. Right, what we call the real ones, not the fake ones. But this dude mastered it in a different sense. Like he mastered it in the sense that it's like, I'm Joker. Like that's the best way I can put it. I am Joker. I am here just making fun of y'all, saying, and then that's what I mean. I think it's the dumbest. Put COVID aside. No, put COVID aside. But like in my lifetime, and maybe my parents went through this when they saw us coming up. In my lifetime, I think this is the dumbest people have been. Like it's just weird. Like, oh my God. And social, I think it's social media. I think it's just that one aspect of people. The fact that your homegirl from down the street or whatever that probably would have just been known by a local few can now be known by 10 million in like a week. Woo! And this is a whole different conversation.
Even your kids, bro.
I was about to say what these kids are going through in school nowadays and stuff. Like, yo, listen, if I got into a fight, which I have, and if I got in my ass beat, it's not gonna end up on Instagram when I was growing up. The 20-something people that were there would probably talk about it. They share with their friends, but it starts to die down. Meaning that like, if I tell 3 people, eventually it's like, oh yeah, he just got punched in the mouth.
Yeah, no, you end up on a big Instagram page.
But now you gonna end up like tattooed for life as homeboy who got knocked the fuck out. These kids are going through some other crazy shit. This is not the podcast for that.
Or even like the kid influencers who have their own toy line, or they just play with toys and they become their own brand. You know what I mean? And they're getting paid millions of dollars, and their parents have to coordinate the shoots. Like,
how is this happening? Why is this happening?
Because other kids are watching YouTube now. Little 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds.
So like, just to end this conversation on the influencer is just like, that's why I had like a hope of happiness. Yeah. That maybe they went away.
Yeah, I hear you.
I was like, I don't see them. I really don't see them. So thanks, Twitter algorithm.
Yeah.
Doing your job. I was just hoping. I was like, Bitcoin Maxis finally got these dudes the fuck out of here. No.
They'll be around.
Well, they consider themselves Bitcoin Maxis.
They'll be at Bitcoin Miami.
Well, yeah. That's listen. Well, I got other plans.
I don't think I'm going.
Yeah, I was about to say I got other plans around that time anyways. So like, there's a huge reason I'm not going. But like, you still haven't sold me on that ticket price. And I know hanging around with Bitcoiners is super fun. So if you could ignore the noise and get with the signal, it'd probably be fun.
I would rather do that at like a smaller, like a Austin Bitcoin something. You know what I mean?
I've heard Miami last year was fantastic. So maybe it's just who you know.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of the, like if you just go as a tourist, you might hate it. You might be the dude waiting for to get in for 3.5 hours in the heat.
I'm straight, bro.
Right. But like I've also heard very great things about the event and stuff like that. So I don't know, but like to me, call me cheap, call me frugal, call me whatever. I don't. It's not appetizing enough to me, especially if anybody can walk through the door. Right? It's just one of those things. But
yeah, I'm not paying that to see Floyd Mayweather talk about one day.
I'm good. I'm not paying for hype. Is what it is. Like, and I know honestly, a few of the people that they've announced this year seems less hypey. Like, oh, these are actually Bitcoiners.
Yeah.
Cool.
I hope they continue in that direction.
Maybe they got a lot of shit last year, and they're gonna probably fix themselves. Especially if you're gonna call yourself the Bitcoin conference, not cryptocurrency conference or whatever that. But like, I don't think it's enticing enough. Maybe I'm missing out. That's all cool. I'll be okay with missing out on that, especially if influencers are there, because I'm not there to stargaze. And historically in life, when you stargaze and you meet these people in real life, they're pretty much not what you expect them to be. That doesn't mean they're evil. It's just like, man, they're probably sick and tired of people walking up to them and shaking their hands and doing all this stuff too. But I tried very hard to find influencer in a good fashion. If y'all listening, reach out to us. Give me one. Give me a good example of a good influencer. Maybe I'll be wrong on that, but I think whenever anybody sees the word influencer, because of social media, you should run for your fucking life. You should, I mean, maybe casually watch it, maybe whatever, but they're good at what they're good at, and that's sucking people in. You don't get 2 billion followers by not knowing what people like to do. And it was said many times in that Tekashi thing, other people that were talking about him, he was kind of like a little mini genius. Like, he kind of figured it out very well. Like, there was dudes that were real, like, hurt, like, of what happened, but, like, couldn't fake it. Like, yo, he was good. He figured it out. And now you see everybody out here doing this crazy stuff on it. So if you see the word influencer, run for your life. Maybe that should be the name of this episode.
Run for your life.
That's an hour in, man. You got anything else for the people?
Nah, we're good, bro.
We freestyled this episode for you.
Yeah.
Ben came through 2 feet of snow to get this episode for you. This is episode 51. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Bitcoin TV before you check out YouTube. I've tried Bitcoin TV here and there. I haven't tried it much, but I really am bullish on the cause of Bitcoin TV and would like that platform to grow.
Yes, sir.
So before you head on over to YouTube and get dealt with all their algorithms and all their trickery that they're doing, hiding likes and this, man, get out of here with that. Before you do that.
No, hiding the dislike.
Man, if you don't like this show, please reach out to us and get out of here with YouTube with that nonsense. But I understand if, you don't prefer Bitcoin TV or if YouTube is part of your flow. Because I know media consumption flows, everybody has a different way they go through. Check us out on Bitcoin TV. Subscribe to us there. Share it with your friends. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe on us there. Hit the little bell. You get all those notifications. Conversely, on the audio side of things, check us out on Fountain app. Check us out on Breeze. Check us out on Sphinx if you want. But anywhere that's Lightning Power 2.0 podcast index, send us over some sats. That's how we can actually get a barometer. That's how we keep the lights on, and that's how we keep it ad-free. And if you don't want to do that, then check us out on every other podcasting platform. Spotify, Apples of the world. Subscribe, leave a comment, reach out to us on Twitter, reach out to us where you can find us. We're plebs just like y'all, and that's episode 51.
Peace, bro.
Appreciate it. Later, y'all.